Hi, Kevin Yoder here with the Yoder team, and happy holidays. We're heading into a very interesting time of year with real estate. Things do tend to slow down a little bit, but it's amazing the transactions still continue to roll, and as interest rates remain low and inventory is low, and buyers are looking to grab those properties before the new year, perhaps tax breaks, or just realizing that the interest rates are inevitably going to go up. We have a new topic today, and it's one that's going to really break down the differences between a listing agent and a buyer's agent, and their very unique roles in helping each respective client walk through the transaction and who their fiduciary obligations are too. Okay, let's get started. We receive countless calls a week, probably 10 to 20 calls from buyers who just are a little bit confused about the role of a listing agent and a buyer's agent, and oftentimes they really don't know. And so we find ourselves educating buyers on that more often than sellers, of course. And so the question usually is, well, I really don't understand the person with the sign in the yard, that's the listing agent, but I don't really know the distinct roles that each takes, that each of those agents play. So let me just break it down in the form of the actual legal document. So this is called a disclosure regarding agency relationships. Whenever a buyer or a seller enters into a relationship with a real estate professional, this is a Michigan state required document, and it's required by the state. So it's basically just a disclosure which outlines the different duties and responsibilities for both a buyer's agent to the buyer and a listing agent to the seller. And it's interesting that it's very clear on the document what those distinct fiduciary obligations are. So let me just read them to you so that it's very clear for anybody who's watching this video blog what each party does in the transaction. So it says right here, seller's agent. A seller's agent under the listing agreement with the seller acts solely on behalf of the seller. Seller's agents will disclose to the seller known information about the buyer which may be used to benefit the seller. So what that simply means is that agent will be bound by contract in the form of a listing agreement, and they are to get the seller the best terms. Anything they can find out about the buyer that would benefit the seller, they have a fiduciary obligation to do so. So it's a common misbelief that the listing agent will also work for the buyer. They're either a listing agent or they're a buyer agent. There's such thing as a dual agent. That's someone that kind of rides in the middle. We won't get into that in this particular blog, but I will tell you that's a very slippery slope, and one that I don't think any buyer or seller would like their agent to fall into, because they're really saying that they're representing both sides, which is impossible. The buyer's agent role states here, a buyer's agent under a buyer's agency agreement with a buyer acts solely on behalf of the buyer. Buyer's agents will disclose to the buyer known information about the seller, which may be used to benefit the buyer. So completely opposite role, you'll see, and one that then positions the buyer that's working with a buyer's agent in favorable light. That buyer's agent's there to represent that buyer, to negotiate on their best interests, completely opposite to what the listing agent does for the seller, right? So if you're a buyer, this is the most important thing to remember, is that the agent that has the sign in the yard, they're working for the seller. That is somebody who is hired to get them the most money and sell the home in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of hassle. As you can see, this document outlines specifically that role is designed to get have all the terms in the seller's favor. So a buyer's agent is hired when you want to have somebody on your side. Think about going into a courtroom with or without an attorney. We can all agree that going into a courtroom without an attorney isn't really a good idea. So in the same way, going out to buy a home without a buyer's agent would be like going to court without an attorney. You have no one on your side. So the benefits of a buyer's agent are also that they will help negotiate the contract for you, help set up showings, walk you through the process, and then guide you through the closing steps once you have an accepted offer. Hopefully this makes sense, and if you have any questions about the differences between a listing agent and a buyer's agent, always feel free to hit us up. You can also add comments below. You can reach me at the office at 942-2449 if you want to just give us a call here, but please do add comments below. Any comments that we receive below, we will then use those as our guide for the next questions we're going to ask in subsequent videos, and we'll definitely keep those in mind. We'll send out gift cards to anybody that we use their question on. Okay, thanks so much for paying attention today to KevinYoder.tv, and stay tuned for the next episode.